Republicans leading a months-long probe of the 2020 presidential election in Michigan say they have found no evidence of widespread or systemic fraud. According to the Detroit News, a report released Wednesday by the GOP-controlled Michigan Senate Committee determined citizens should be, quote, confident the results represent the true results of the ballots cast by the people of Michigan. It added those who pointed to events in Antrim County in particular as prime evidence of a nationwide conspiracy were in a position of, quote, zero credibility. The GOP committee even recommended the state's Democratic Attorney General consider opening an investigation into people who promoted such false claims. Craig Mauger covers state government and politics for the Detroit News. He joins me now with more on his reporting. Craig, welcome. Thanks very much for being with us. This is really interesting. Let's start with some background. First of all, explain what happened in Antrim County and the accusations about election fraud in Michigan.
Yeah, so on its surface, Antrim County is this northern Michigan 23,000 person county where on the day after the election, we started getting results of the county. It's a conservative county, and the results began showing that Joe Biden had won, not just won, but won by a very large margin. That threw up a lot of red flags in everyone's mind. What happened with the tallies of these votes? Very quickly, election officials in Antrim County were able to determine that there was a problem with the election equipment in that election workers didn't update the equipment after they had made changes to the ballot design. So this was a human error. These were human errors that caused these issues. They corrected the issues. They hand tallied the ballots and found out that indeed President Trump had won the county as we all had expected. But it was a little bit too late because the switching numbers caused conspiracy theories to spread across the country, not only about Antrim County, but about Dominion voting systems, which is the voting software and equipment used in Antrim County and the majority of counties in Michigan.
So then what are the main takeaways from this committee's report?
I mean, the main takeaways on Antrim County are that the committee has confirmed what just about everyone else who has looked into this has found, that these were human errors. It wasn't a software problem. There wasn't hacking in Antrim County. It's not some type of situation that could be replicated across counties and states that should cause concern among the public. In a broader sense, this report says that there was no significant fraud in the state of Michigan. There was no evidence of that these Republican lawmakers were able to find. The legislators and their staff had spent nearly 8 months looking into the election. It began right after Election Day. They took 28 hours of committee testimony. They subpoenaed documents from a couple of jurisdictions, 2 jurisdictions that saw a lot of accusations surrounding how they handled the election. So, I mean, they did a lot of work to probe the election, and they did a lot of it openly. I mean, these were public meetings. You can go watch the committee testimony. You can go watch the questions that they asked sources who were brought in to testify. It's all out there.
So despite finding no evidence of widespread fraud, though, the committee is recommending changes to the current elections process. Craig, did they explain why?
Yeah, so the committee says that even though they found no evidence of fraud, they believe that there are weaknesses in the state's election laws that could be exploited if someone wanted to do that and had the ability and had the initiative to try to do that. So they believe they must take on these weaknesses that they see in the state's election laws. Of course, people on the other side of the aisle, Democratic lawmakers, the state Democratic Party, believe that these weaknesses that the Republicans see don't really exist, and they're fighting hard against the 39 bills the Senate Republicans are currently advancing in our state legislature.
So former President Trump is highlighting Republican-led investigations and audits in places like Michigan and Arizona, claiming that they support his claims of fraud. How is he reacting to these findings in Michigan?
Well, he reacted a few hours ago, sending out an email blast to his supporters, attacking by name 2 of our most prominent Senate Republicans in our state Senate, Ed McBroom and Mike Shirkey. He criticized them. He said that their report was a cover-up. He said that his supporters should call them and tell them to do the right thing here and allow a forensic audit of the election. And if McBroom and Shirkey aren't willing to do that, former President Trump is telling his supporters to vote these two gentlemen out. Ed McBroom is expected to seek re-election next year. Mike Shirkey's term limited and he can't run again.
Okay, all right, a fascinating turn of events there in Michigan. Craig Mauger for us. Craig, thank you very much.
Hey, thank you for having me.